Welcome everybody back again to this passage on dealing with Rilke. So I just have to set up the page here again. Okay, I think you can all see that. All right, so let's see here. All right, can you see my mark here, CJ?
Yep.
Great. Thanks so much for tuning in. Sorry for the little delay there at the beginning. So this is the second segment on Rainer Maria Rilke, his example of his poetic prose, and his dates are 1875 to 1926. One of the most well-known and beloved poets. One who writes most lyrically intense German prose. It's very well known for that. So we're looking at the first paragraph here, and we're going to go down to this point right here, down to line 11. And in this text, you can see the words that have a little circle after them, like ganz, are translated in the column to the right. So you can check over there and look at that. So, and our procedure will be the same as before. I'll read out a sentence. I'll read a sentence out loud, or a part of a sentence, or a clause. And then CJ, who's our guest today, will be repeating after me, and please repeat with him so you can get a sense of the flow of the language and the pronunciation. And then I'll ask him questions from time to time to deconstruct the sentence. And then please, as I'm asking him, try to think in your own mind what the answer would be, so we sort of work through together. And then we should arrive at a point where we all can actually translate the sentence, give a literal translation, or the best we can with this poetic prose. Okay, so let's read together. Here we go. Die Kirche war ganz leer, everybody.
Die Kirche war ganz leer.
So the first sentence is, this means empty, and here you see ganz means completely. So obviously that is what, CJ?
The church was completely empty.
Exactly, yeah. Go on. Going on. Durch das bunte Glasfenster über dem Hauptaltar brach der Abendstrahl. Everybody?
Durch das bunte Glasfenster über dem Hauptaltar brach der Abendstrahl.
Breit und schlicht, wie die alte Meister ihn auf der Verkündigung Mariens darstellen.
Breit und schlicht, wie alte Meister ihn auf der Verkündigung Mariens darstellen.
In das Hauptschiff.
In das Hauptschiff.
Good. So we just went up to this point here, read quite a bit longer. And thank you, CJ, for reading at a nice pace. I mean, it's very clear, and it allows everybody to read along with you. Okay, so let's see. Up to this comma, and we always look for the verb first, look for the subject second, and then the direct object if there is one. Where's the verb up to this point?
Brach.
Brach, and that comes from what infinitive?
Brechen.
Brechen. So how would you translate that with a pronoun?
It broke.
It broke, right? Okay. Now, there's all the way down to this point where we read down here, and sometimes you'll find adverbs at the end of the clause that complete the meaning of the verb. So this is actually a directional accusative, which means into the nave. So does that belong with the verb?
Sure. I mean, it's a prepositional phrase belonging to the main clause with the verb.
Exactly. So it really completes the meaning of the verb. So you could say it broke into the nave, or it means the Hauptschiff really means the principal ship, i.e. the principal ship of this church. Okay. Now, what's the subject? Going back to this first couple lines.
Der Abendstrahl.
Good. Notice durch das bunte Glasfenster, through the colored glass window. This is a prepositional phrase, so you never find any part of the core sentence in a prepositional phrase. So you can sort of bracket that out as you're taking a look, as you're scanning the sentence. So here you have, this is the subject, the evening beaming, or as they translate it here, the last rays of the sun, taking some bit of poetic liberty, but that's okay. It does mean this, by the way. So this means, so the core sentence now is, and there's no direct object, but how would you just read the core sentence? Just say in English, translate it in English.
Do I include the durch das Bunte?
No, just
No,
just
just the verb. Okay. So the last ray of this, or the evening beam broke into the nave.
exactly. There's your core sentence. Upon everything else is depends. Okay, so then we can take up this through the color glass window, and then there's just indicating where it is above the main altar. So the last rays of the evening broke, and the last ray of the evening described here. Actually, it describes how it broke widely and simply, and then from here, V. Where's the verb of this relative clause here, starting with V down to darstellen?
Darstellen.
Yeah, and this mean how do you translate that?
Well, let's see. They depict.
Yeah, they depict. Now, notice the value or the value of identifying the verb and first telling it whether it's singular or plural, because now you're looking for what sort of a subject, singular or plural, CJ?
Plural.
Plural. And where's the plural subject here?
The alte Meister.
Yeah, the old masters, the great painters. And where's the direct object?
Ihn.
Now, this is a complex sentence. So the old masters represent it, or as the old masters represent it. What does the it refer back to? What is the antecedent?
I would think the Abendstrahl.
Exactly, yeah. So and the clue is it has to agree with the antecedent in number and gender, and then so this is masculine, singular, and then but this serves as the direct object in this relative clause, as the old masters represent it, that is the last rays of the sun, in the Annunciation of Mary. Okay, so we have all the parts here, and again, we're not excusing. Uh, we don't want to. This is a complicated and beautiful way of writing. So you want to do the whole thing up to in das Hauptschrift, put it together, and hope you've all
Sure.
taken these parts and are able now to put it together more or less with CJ. Go ahead.
The church was entirely empty. Through the stained glass over the main altar, the evening light broke widely and simply, as the old masters represented or depicted in the Annunciation of Mary. Oh, and I should have picked this up earlier, but the evening light broke into the nave.
Okay, so you're going to pick that up first before picking up this relative clause here. And there's another interesting point here. The evening light broke into the nave as the old masters, and then this is actually interestingly enough present tense, as the old masters represented it. So they're as in sort of a historical present, which is I didn't see that initially looking at that. Okay, great. And so with this und, and I'm going to erase I always erase the items before so you can read the text clearly. Und is a coordinating conjunction which joins two independent clauses. So but still this Abendstrahl is the subject, the last rays of the sun. And then where's up to here? Where's the verb complex?
Auffrischte.
Yeah, so frischte auf. Always read it in that order. So we recognize in here that the separal prefix is floating out to the end of the clause of the sentence. Great. Okay. So and this means auffrischen means to refresh simply, and it's past tense, and it refreshed. Where's the direct object?
Farben.
And what's the subject again? Which I said
Der
earlier.
Abendstrahl.
Still serving as a subject, the last rays of the sun, and this is singular, so this is also singular, obviously. So and it refreshed the, as you said, the faded colors, and then a genitive of the carpet on the stairs, on the steps. Okay, Pretty interesting sentence. Okay, and great job in following this too. So we're going to go into the next sentence, and let's see here. Starting right from here. Done. Can you see my mark again?
Yep.
Okay, let's read together. Dann durchschnitt der Lettner mit seinen barocken Holzsäulen den Raum. Everybody?
Dann durchschnitt der Lettner mit seinen barocken Holzsäulen den Raum.
Okay, just up to there, where's the verb?
Durchschnitt.
Good. And that comes from what infinitive?
Durchschneiden.
Durchschneiden, to cut through, or to cut into two. And where's the subject?
Der Lettner.
Der Lettner. Okay, and it's the screen between the knave and the choir, as you see. Der Lettner. Now, when you have anything adverbially at the beginning, or any time, or any direct object or a dative, the effect of that is it reverses the verb and the subject order. So and the verb likes to be in the second position anyway. Okay, so then this is the subject, the screen between the knave and the choir, cut through. What's the direct object of that?
Den Raum.
I had to scan it myself a little bit. Here's your direct object. And notice we are putting a box around the verb. Our convention, sorry for sloppy writing here, putting a box around the verb, underlining the subject, and putting a circle around the direct object. So this is what we call a transitive verb because it transfers the action to a direct object or to an accusative, as it's called. And this actually describes what this screen between the nave and the choir is with its, and just describes it with its Baroque wooden pillars. Okay, just translate that up to that comma there, CJ. And
Okay. Then the screen between the nave and the choir cuts the room
but
in half, possibly.
It's actually past tense because it's durchschneiden, and so there's a vowel change there. Durchschnitt, it cut through.
Cut through the room with its Baroque wooden columns.
Well, no, mit seinem Baroque wooden columns modifies Lettner. So then the screen between the nave and the choir with its Baroque wooden pillars cut through the room or the space, and beyond that, here going on, let's read together. Und jenseits desselben wurde es immer dunkler. Go ahead.
Und jenseits desselben wurde es immer dunkler.
Good. Going right from here, so it's clear. Und die kleinen ewigen Lampen blinzelten immer verständnisvoller vor den nachgedunkelten Heiligen. Everybody?
Und die kleinen ewigen Lampen blinzelten immer verständnisvoller vor den nachgedunkelten Heiligen.
Remember this A umlaut, verständnisvoller. Okay. I joke CJ a little bit about that because he's you got a great pronunciation, but just watch those A umlauts.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So and beyond that, or on the other side, and then here's your verb. Würde es immer. How about the immer plus the comparison? How do you render that?
Darker and darker.
Good. Darker. Darker and darker. So, and beyond that, it became darker and darker, and then from here, where's the verb?
Blinzelten.
Good, and this means a flicker. So, and how would you translate that with a pronoun?
They flickered.
They flickered. So you're looking for a plural subject. So where's this plural subject?
Lampen.
Yeah, this whole line here, the small eternal lamps flickered, and then there's no direct object there. And how about this immer verständnisvoller? This is a comparison.
Yeah, we could say like more and more full of understanding, or like more keenly or clearly or something like that.
Yeah.
More with more brilliance.
Well, not quite, but so this is how it. This is actually an adverb. So the small eternal lamps flickered more and more understandably, or more and more understandingly, you could say, um, in front of Fordain, and this is translated um, before the saints darkened with age. So great. You want to do the whole thing? Let's see. Just that last part. And beyond this, go on from here.
Okay. And beyond this, it became darker and darker, and the small eternal lamps uh, flickered more and more understandably, I guess,
Understandingly,
before
or
understandingly, before the saints darkened with age.
great. How about doing the whole thing? So sometimes when we do a text like this, and we do piecemeal little bits at a time, sometimes we'll just go back and do the whole thing, which you sort of get a feel for the movement and the poetry, the poetic prose itself. You want to try the whole thing, CJ, and with everybody
Sure.
helping out? Go ahead.
The church was entirely empty. Uh, through the colored glass window, over the main altar, the evening light broke into the nave,
Great.
widely and simply, as the old masters depict it in the Annunciation of Mary.
Perfect.
And this would be.
And then picking this up again, and the last rays of the sun, frischte auf.
And the last rays of the sun, that would be
refreshed.
Refreshed the
pale
colors of the rug on the steps, and then the screen between the nave and the choir cut in half with its Baroque wooden columns. Cut the room in half.
Great.
And beyond that, it was becoming darker and darker, and the small eternal lamps flickered more and more understandingly before the saints darkened with age.
Whoa, very nicely done. Fantastic. So this is an example of something that people have, not, I shouldn't say praised, but just have respected and honored Rilke so much for this sort of poetic prose. Anyway, that's a nice example, and come back for the next section tomorrow. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.